Hello everybody, this is Chichi Dagogowariso, aka the Storybook Lady as I like to call myself, aka Blossom Kids Corner, and you are welcome to another wonderful Saturday where we're going to be talking about parenting topics, parenting issues, how to make our children better parents. Today we're going to be talking about tackling gadget addiction in children. I know that a lot of parents have this problem and are at a loss at what to do and how to stop it. We may have started it innocently or maybe out of convenience, but now it has now become a monster in our lives and we're trying to get that monster out of the way as quickly as possible. Technology indeed made things easy across the world. As we know, it provided solutions to critical situations. You understand, it evolved from technology, evolved gadgets for children and adults, and these gadgets help to keep them occupied, engaged in learning and fun activities, but have problems when used in excess. You know, like I said earlier, a lot of times it could have been for convenience and also for educational purposes. So most times nowadays, children need computers for their ICT classes, for coding and all whatnot. But at their leisure time, when we now leave them to have a good time, use it to play games, have fun, and then it's not controlled or it's not timed, then it becomes a problem retrieving it back from them. And according to the Vice President of the National Association of Clinical Pathologists in Nigeria, Afolabi Aroyehu, he said whether someone is addicted to food, substance, or gadgets, he or she is controlled by the same neurocognitive pathway. He also said that they all act on a neuron control, and that the more you do it and get rewarded for it, the more addicted you get to it. So whether it's the same thing that drives substance addiction is also the same thing that drives gadget addiction in children. It might sound scary, but that's the plain truth. Some people get addicted to food. Some people get addicted to different things. Even we as adults. In fact, now this gadget addiction is because this is more of a parenting class than for adults. But even so many adults are now more addicted to their phones and social media than even having personal time for themselves. So you can imagine if we as adults who have so much control over our emotions and how we think and how we behave can still get addicted to gadgets, then how much more children who depend on us to think, who actually depend on us to make decisions for them, how can it be controlled? So that's where we as parents come in. And the COVID-19 lockdown was really a trying parenting period, because the kids were at home for months and months and months, and the parents, those who needed to work remotely, had to work, and having to manage children at home and having to work and dealing with the uncertainties that came with the COVID, it was very convenient for us to just, everybody be on your gadget so that I can have me time or time for myself. But now that schools have resumed over the time, and remember there's a saying that says if you do something consistently or consecutively for the next 21 days, it becomes a habit. So we can imagine us being at home for 5 to 6 months, and these children they wake up in the morning, there's no school, okay, maybe they get to do their chores, but they have the rest of the day. So what do? They are on their gadgets, and if there's no lights, unfortunately for you, so over the months, it slowly has grown or grew into what has now become a gadget addiction. It's so bad that children, as little as they can, once they can start talking or even holding your phone, even as babies, as toddlers, they're still clutching onto your phone. They want to play game. My daughter always wants to watch downloads, so it's a problem that cuts across the board. I'm not saying that because I'm a parenting coach, so mine is different. It's not. We're all parents and we're all in it, and we all learn. Even though I do these videos to teach other parents, but I'm also learning from it. And a lot of times I share my own experiences of how I'm having to deal with some of these issues, okay, and how when faced with these issues, how I'm able to cope with them and manage them. So as parents, we need to learn to deal with these issues. How do we do that? One, regulate screen time so that they can relate with the physical world. Two, consistent timing is also helpful. To help them adjust. Let your kids know that let them know that you have authority over their gadgets, irrespective of the fact that you bought it for them. Sometimes they say, "Oh, mommy, but it's mine." But I bought it for you, so I have the right to retrieve it from you. Right? Have a workable screen time. Buy them specific devices, or download apps. Use apps to control their screen time and also to monitor unhealthy applications. You should be able to have like because of this most recent Chrisland issue going on in Nigeria, there's now the Google parenting feature, which every parent ought to have on their phones to be able to manage what your children watch, right? Use apps and tools to monitor the activity, and then make sure that for every activity there's something they learn out of it. Find digital skills that interest your kids and provide the tools for them to learn the skills so as to make them productive. Instead of just sitting down and playing games, you can actually learn. Maybe they could really learn coding, learn other stuff that they could learn on the computer, which is more educative than just sitting and playing games and being on TikTok and Likey and all of that. Right? Leverage apps like Google Family Link to regulate content and time spent. Have an alternative activity that they can devote their time to, like exercise, sporting activities, indoor games, board games. Let it not just be only the screen. Also try to provide other forms of fun activities for them, right? So as parents, a lot of parents have really neglected their roles and of relating and talking with their children, and then the children have now swapped these slots with gadgets. So many parents feel, "Oh, I'm too busy." You can never be too busy for your children. You live for your children. You are working. The fact that you go to work every day is just so that you can make your children happy. You brought them into the world, so you are completely and entirely responsible for them. So you can never be too busy for them, irrespective of your schedule. Growing up, my mom was a banker. She used to leave the house as early as 4:45, 4:45 every day. And we lived not just in the mainland, we lived in the suburbs, and she worked on the island. So she had to leave very early so she could beat the Lagos traffic and get to work before 8. And sometimes she's caught up in traffic on her way back from work, even up until 1, 2 a.m. But that sometimes she even has to go to work on Sundays after church. That was how tasking her job was. But for whenever she had the time, she spent all of it with us. She knew us to our skin. She can tell you who is this, who has what. She even when we got into secondary school, my mom was communicating with us in our own school slangs. Whenever we come back from school, she wants to know what's going on with you. She wants what's the latest slang, what was the newest one. She's communicating with you in your own language. But yet she was the busiest person ever. She was too busy. She had church programs, she had meetings, she had work, she had to travel. But in all of that busy schedule, she still made that time out to spend the time with her children. So I don't know how busy you can be, because now in Nigeria things are a lot better. Then they really didn't have the opportunity to work remotely, so everything had to be done in the office. The internet wasn't as advanced as it is now, so she couldn't really work from home, because some of the things that she had to do maybe over the weekends, if technology was as advanced as it is now, maybe she would have been doing some of them from home. But she had to physically be in the office. It was so bad that sometimes for us to go home for Christmas, we have to like go with her to work and like, okay, can you remember what I did this? Can you remember what I did then? Just to make sure that she makes out time to spend Christmas with us in the village. But yet she still had time for all of us. It was so nice when, God rest her soul, she used to communicate in our slang. You would never know, even when we were in the university, a lot of our friends used to think she was our elder sister because of the way we related. So I don't know how busy you are as a parent, especially the mothers, even the fathers. I don't know how busy you are as a parent. In fact, I don't even care how busy you are as a parent, because a lot of the moral decadence we're seeing today, a lot of the societal issues we're seeing today, they all started from home. If as a parent you don't have time for your children, you give them phones, you feel buying your child an iPhone 13 or giving them the most advanced technology is actually your own form of show of love, I put it to you that you are wrong. And I want to speak to every parent and I say, make out time for your children. If you follow consistently with my videos, you will see that a lot of these problems we're talking about has to do with parent-child relationship. However you relate with your child is the same way that child is going to turn out to you. So please, as parents, we need to make sure that we live our lives, we model our lives, we shape our lives in such a way that our children will emulate us. Because they copy us. When you had that child didn't know what to, it was just existing. But you modeled the child to whatever he is today, whether you like it or not. As a mom, as a dad, because for a child to be born, there must be a man and a woman. So whether you people are married or not, as long as both of you came together to parent a child, it is both of your responsibility to make sure that that child is who you want him or her to become. So if you know you want your child to be a societal issue, then that's up to you. You can as well model the child in such a way. If you know you want your child to be worthy of emulation, it's also up to you to model your child exactly the way you want to. So I blame parents for what we're seeing in the society today. I blame parents a lot. The children copy us. They actually copy everything that we do. In my last video, I said it that children always want to push their limits. They always want to push their limits. They are watching, they are copying, they are picking up changes in your parenting, whether it's good or it's bad. They are absorbing it like a sponge. And they will only produce whatever. When a sponge absorbs soapy water, it can never give you clean water, because it's what it absorbs that it gives out. They are like a sponge. They are like a sponge. So whatever you deposit in them is definitely what they are going to also give out to you. So please, as parents, we all need to help our children one way or another. Especially for those who are seriously addicted, we need to put our foot down. We need to highlight our authority. However it is, you are the one that bought the phone for your child. Even if your child bought that phone by himself, you should make that child know that you are the authority in the house. Even if nobody asks you, God is going to ask you about the life of that child. So we as parents should try in our best interest and the interest of our children to fashion our children's lives as best as we can. I know that it's not easy being a parent. It's not easy even being a child, because there are lots of rules and regulations you need to conform to. But by the time we look at the society is me and you. And if I do my part and you do your part, and he does his part and she does her part, and we all do our parts, our children will actually become better than what we are seeing today. The church is doing the much they can to talk. All the religions, as much as possible, are talking and advising and preaching, but it all begins with us. It all starts from home. Charity, they say, does what? Begins at home. So you could really go out in the church, oh, you're a wonderful person, but how are you at home? How are you at home? So parents, this is all we have today, tackling gadget addiction in our children. I hope this video has touched or helped to change the impression of some parents concerning their children, and I hope that for those kids or teenagers who will eventually get to watch this video, I hope you also have learned a thing or two. Thank you all my subscribers. Thank you for everyone who has paid us a visit, who has watched our video, even if it's 1 second, who has liked, who has shared. I want to thank you. You are the reason why we are doing this every Saturday. And don't forget to also like, again, subscribe. Tell everybody that the parenting coach Chichi Dagogo Wariso Blossom Kids Corner is here to stay. All right, signing out.